There it is.
There's that breathing that we got.
Boosh. Booshin', booshin'. We are booshin' in Oxnard. Booshin' boosh. Booshin' boosh. This is our new song. Booshin' boosh.
Are you ready for that Monday night podcast?
All right.
Pop-up podcast.
If anyone's still here and hasn't left, we gotta pay tribute to Boots, guys.
Yep, tribute it up to Boots there, AJ.
You can't? Okay, we'll wait. There
we go. Okay,
that would have been impressive, though, if you did all three things.
I would have had to have a magic third hand pop up. Let me get the snake out. Let me get the snake out of his drawer.
Oh.
Okay.
So we don't have our Oxnard tour guide, the team captain, boots on the ground, Eric, with us, but we are still going to shoot a little tequila the Oxnard way, like he said. So let's get it in you, kids.
Oh, what a rush.
That's a spicy one.
Woo.
Crack him if you got him.
Crack him if you got him.
Crack him if you got him. You can see us chase that.
All right, guys, we are back in Oxnard. We aren't live right now due to technical Wi-Fi issues, but that's no issue. Guys, how you feeling? A third day in Oxnard, is it for us? Friday, Saturday, Sunday?
And now it's Monday.
Oh, fuck.
Day 4 in Oxnard here, live on location for the NFL training camp, Dallas Cowboys. I feel good. I mean, the hot weather absolutely gets to you after you're standing outside for a few hours. But I think it's been good. It's been nice to see them up close and personal.
So we were live today. If you check out our channel, we did go live today for about 45 minutes at camp. The Bandwagon boys actually posted up on top of the bleachers, and with the sun beating down on them, they're on top of metal bleachers. So those guys got a lot of sun. I was actually up with boots on the ground at the paid for, I forget what it's called, but like the specialty area where
sideline access.
All access sideline stuff, and sitting there right by practice. But man, what a good day. It's really cool to be able to see the whole practice. Today they kind of had the linebackers practicing in front of us. And one thing that stood out to me right away that I talked to Boots about with the linebackers, defensive ends, they had the defensive ends rushing and the linebackers off doing other stuff, but LVE and Micah were with the defensive ends.
Yeah, so you're basically thinking that they might be trying to work LVE, LTE, not the cell phone guy.
5 gig LTE.
You're thinking that they might be working LVE into maybe a hybrid role?
So I'm not sure. That's what it looked like, but on the other field, so this was the close field that they were running through the pass rushing specialist drills with the defensive line coach, Durd. And then on the other field where they had Veterans Day today, by the way.
Oh, yeah.
They were doing a shout-out to all the veterans of the United States military. So all the military members got the 250 VIP access, which was kind of cool. And they were on the side of the field where they were running through special team drills. So I don't know if just guys like Overshone and Damone Clark are possibly on, and Jabby Cox are possibly on special teams and like on kickoff and punt. So maybe that's why they were over there, and they just had LVE. And obviously Mike is always going to be with the pass rushers, but maybe LVE just needed a place to be while they were running through those drills.
Yes. Well, we do have a unofficial depth chart we'll be looking at in a minute. But I do want to say, for all those audio listeners, you're like, whoa, you guys were live streaming live at the Cowboys training camp? How do I catch that? Where do I see that? Well, just go to youtube.com/@CowboysCanFan or Google or search just Cowboys CanFan on the old search engine or YouTube itself, and we'll pop up. We'll probably be going live just after noon. Unless
Pacific.
PST. So yeah, come hang out. We'll be doing that tomorrow on Tuesday. But obviously it'll be recorded and available for your viewing
our last day there, right? Sadly our last day.
Tomorrow we're basically leaving training camp. We're taking our rental vehicle, and we're hitting that California traffic and fighting our way to LAX tomorrow to fly back to Canada.
Might even do an in-car pod.
Possibly. We'll see. We'll see the logistics of it. So we're going to bring up the biggest news of the day, and this actually happened while we were driving to training camp. The Cowboys cut struggling kicker Tristan Vizcaino, USFL product Brandon Aubrey, only kicker on the roster. What are you guys' thoughts on that?
Well, first take, I mean, both of them were not impressive at all, or have not really stood out. One hasn't stood out from the other, so At least now there's only one problem instead of two problems that you have at the kicker position. But that problem is still a big one. We don't have one still, I think. And if they're going to try to ride Aubrey, I don't know. My only thought about why they're not going out and signing a kicker who can be a big fundamental piece to making sure that you win enough games to get that number one spot and then be able to skip a game, which is going to help any team. But all that aside, why aren't they spending the money on that? Well, they must know that they have to retain every penny because they're going to have to spend that.
Pinch those goddamn pennies. Yeah. Get them all in your pocket.
Because otherwise it would be an easy decision to throw a couple more million at Zach Martin.
Get Robbie Gold or
bring
Nick
in Robbie
Folk.
Gold because they're sitting on 20 million or so, something like that, right?
They're dragging, hoarding their wealth. It seems. The crazy thing about this, and I'm just reading down on the bottom here about Aubrey and why the Cowboys might possibly be inclined to stick with him. Mm-hmm. He made 14 of 15 field goal attempts while kicking for the USFL's Birmingham Stallions in 2023. And that must have convinced the Cowboys to proceed with him as their kicker for now. That's not good enough for me. 14 of 15 attempts because since practice on Saturday, we all talked about this. We actually had a YouTube video about it. The kicking woos on Saturday where Aubrey missed 2 of his 7 field goal attempts, and that was just normal field goals.
Yeah.
So he went 5 for 7 just in their regular kicks, like from easy distances. I think he missed somewhere like 39 and 43 or something. The reason they moved on from Vizcano is because on Saturday he missed 4 field goals, all between 30 and 40 yards. So it was like 32, 34, 36, and 39 or something. So that they had seen enough with him. But when they went to the Mojo Moments, Aubrey was 1 for 3. So not terribly confident in him until, again, we've talked about this with a lot of our players. We've talked about it with the offensive line until we see him in a game, like maybe in the preseason he just starts knocking them through.
Yep.
And at this point, that's all you can really hope for.
That's what they're rolling with. So, yeah.
We didn't see much. He was Alex and I could see him across the field doing some kicks. He looked all right, but it was still a little hard to see because they were on the second field. But at least now that you're not going down and having that pressure of that other person, maybe he's just gonna settle in, which is obviously a lot of hopium, which we don't believe in hopium here. But
I smoke that. I
snort it. Smoke hopium all the time. I snort it.
I snort hope. You hoop it.
You hoop it. I frickin' galoop the hopium. I don't know. The kicking situation really bothers me. It's like coming into, again, Money Maher. Never thought he was going to be an issue, and then he became a very, very big issue.
Well, maybe we'll luck out, and this will be the reverse Maher.
Yeah.
It's a huge issue now, and then he starts just killing it. I mean, it's scary to think that way. But there was Jerry Jones also saying that they're going with Aubrey into the season. So I was kind of convinced after Saturday that the kicker wasn't on the team. But according to Jerry, that's your guy. The other thing about Vizcano being cut, that starts these camp cuts. That's the reality of this time of year. A lot of guys are about to be very disappointed and have their NFL dreams pretty much terminated.
Is Vizcano the first camp
casualty?
cut?
Yeah, he was the first casualty of camp today.
But you know what? Get it done early because any team out there who's looking for a position that you play, you want to be available when they need you because there's not a lot of time to wait. So it's better that it happens, say, now in some sense than it does, say, after preseason week 3.
Yep. No, it does. And I think the main reason they got rid of him was because they want to see every opportunity from Aubrey in the preseason games. Anytime there's a field goal or a point after, they want him to be the one, not juggling between Vizcano and Aubrey, right? So I think it's the right decision, and we'll see how the cards lay.
Yeah.
We see how the cards cookies crumble.
See how the cards roll.
The next kind of big news that we saw affecting the practice today was the absence of Zach Martin still holding out. I don't know if we'll actually be able to watch this article, but it can just spawn our conversation. But do you want to
give it a go?
Give it a go?
Yeah, fucking click that play button. Let's see.
We'll be able to watch. I don't know if it's going to play out here for our audience, but
I see what you're saying.
Let's see.
Just got to turn it up there.
I got mine. Hang on.
Can you explain to people why he works. He's got underground, so I wish I could give that side of it. I've not heard from him. I understand it, though. You go from a guy who's the highest paid guard in 2018 to now he's, I believe, the 9th highest paid guard in the league. There has to be a way to make up that difference somehow. But the Cowboys seem reluctant to want to go there. I don't know if it's precedent. I don't know if it's cash. But he is their best offensive player.
So just a real quick, didn't announce who was actually talking here. So ESPN's Todd Archer is joined by NBC5 sports director Newey Scruggs. And
Yeah.
Sounds like a fake name, Newey Scruggs.
I do like it, but these are the two guys discussing the contract.
So before you play it, they did say Scruggs there, or I can't remember which one said it. I'm going to say it was Scruggs. But one of the gentlemen on the screen had mentioned that Zach Martin is, in fact, the Cowboys' best offensive player. And, guys, it's becoming pretty evident that that's true. The offensive line's getting their asses handed to them. Like, they're not winning very many reps, whether it be when they're trying to run it on 4th and 1 in a simulation or they're trying to do a rollout with Dak Prescott to hit a guy deep. There's always, like, two blue jerseys right there.
Yeah.
There's never, and then even when the running backs are supposed to step in to pick up blocks, there's always a free guy pushing through the center of the line. So this Zach Martin thing is starting to snowball a little bit, and I know it's more than just being like get the guy on the team, but get the guy on the team.
Yeah.
It very evident when you saw the running backs. The running backs got stuffed a lot today, and the fact that defense has been winning at least the two camps that we've been watching. But yeah, definitely can notice an absence of Zach Martin on that line.
The big hog.
There's 19.4 million available in team cap space according to overthecap.com. So
Does it give you for future years too, AJ? Like, can you look at 2024, 2025?
yeah, 2024 there's only 5.9 million,
That's the kicker right there.
and 2025 there's 136.
Okay, explain.
So the reason, if they go and extend him or restructure his deal, they only have $5 million to play with next year.
Yeah,
Right.
or
so,
less.
So they're probably going to give him. I imagine he wants probably between 3 and 5. So if you do that, now you have zero salary cap for next year for anyone else.
There's some shuffling they probably can do.
Oh, definitely.
Plus I don't know. It probably takes an estimated cap, so that might not be the exact number. But regardless, under 10 million
It's scary.
is scary. Yeah.
It's red zone. It's like in any video game when your health is getting down and alerts start going off. That $5 million, you're in alert zone.
Yeah.
And you have two huge players' names that you have to probably re-sign next year, and Micah Parsons and CeeDee Lamb. C88, like those guys are getting paid.
And as they should. I mean, they're it's up for them to be getting paid. It's their time.
There's any debate about that. And what he does, all pro bowls, all that kind of stuff. He'll be there week 1. How happy he'll be, I don't know. Going back into that, yes.
I like that.
So he says Zach Martin's going to be there week 1.
I like that. Do you guys believe that?
I don't know. I mean, if you're gonna be making a stink about it, and then you show up week 1, you kind of lose any type. Like then all of this, then you just threw away money.
No, but he's true.
There's also
if he shows up to week 1, Jerry's not paying him.
Well, there's also the argument these older guys get to the age and they're like, well, do I want to go do training camp in Oxnard or even when they get back to Texas? Do I want to do training camp? Do I want to do these practices in the day and then walkthroughs and be away from my family when I could just miss it and then show up? Could that also be something that's weighing in on them?
I mean, possibly, but you're a professional. This goes down to this is why you're paid the amount of money that you're supposed to be paid. Well, you got to show up to these things.
Keep in mind, Zach Martin has an $11 million payment this year, so
it's not like he's making chump change.
$1 million is like not 10%, but a very significant chunk.
Oh, it is, and he's got to be flirting.
Big chunk.
He's got to be flirting with $600,000 in fines now. So
yeah, probably more. Let's keep.
Well, he ain't showing up to camp, so we all lost our Zach Martin camp pool.
Yeah.
Surefire Hall of Famer. When you look at the resume of guards that are in the league, Zach Martin fits right there with anyone in the game. But this situation right now, Jerry's stuck in his heels because I guess Jerry feels like he has the leverage over Zach Martin.
Which he does.
Yeah, I guess he does because he's signed a contract. He's under contract We know how teams feel about that. Yeah, we also know how teams, when they don't like a player's contract, they get rid of the guy. And this is why Zach Martin's like, wait a minute, I've outperformed. I'm one of the best still. Make this up for me, make up the difference for me. But, you know, Jerry being dug in on this does seem a little odd. It's an odd bit of public posturing. I don't understand it, because all you're going to do is make him upset. You don't need to make your best player upset. Maybe you don't have to give him a contract, but open that door, leave some wiggle room, do something. You've seen hold-ins across the league work. Maybe a hold-in would have been better than a hold-out so far.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
I agree with what Todd Archer's saying, with the fact that Jerry Jones didn't do the Cowboys any favors by posturing how he did. Like, he could have went a little bit more, I'm going to say PG with it, instead of like going for the throat shot, because he basically said, we're not paying you.
Here, he should have said, yeah, I like my guys, and I'm going to make my guys happy, and we're going to figure this out, and Zach's going to be playing week 1.
That's exactly. So
Does it tarnish Zach's attitude towards the team moving forward? Probably not the team, maybe just the upper management, which they didn't
riff.
have a good.
It's a riff. It can be, certainly can be healed. Zach Martin's is a
mainstay.
Yeah, lifelong Cowboy his entire career.
Drafted by them first round. Been amazing since he got there.
He's probably feeling a little butthurt, and he should. But there's talking going on behind closed doors. I fucking hope, anyway.
We definitely hope so. Like, you got to think. I was talking about the best case for Zach Martin would be he doesn't sit out, or he sits out for the first 2 games, and the opposing teams get 8 sacks a game. But you got to think that these coaches are kind of right now going, we need our big dog on the line back.
Well, and this just goes also back to the fact that if he ends up showing up for week 1 and there's no movement, then all of this sit out was for nothing.
Which again, it could just be, I don't want to be at camp. It's not I just like that this puts any argument to rest with, because we had it happen with a few people. Oh no, players can't hold out in the new CBA. Well, that's wrong. They can.
They can, and we're seeing it. We're experiencing it.
They can, and they are.
Yeah.
No, it would have been cheaper. It would definitely been cheaper. I'm watching Josh Ball at right guard. You are? And I'm just saying, what I'm watching, I feel for Dak Prescott. If that's what happens against the Giants, man, he's not ready to roll. Well,
Oh, he's already saying that we don't got guards or linemen ready to roll.
No,
Sorry.
you have Josh Ball as your right guard, 6'8". You have a 6'8" guard. That is just not. That's not the spot for a 6'8" guy.
lineman at this point, right? And Ball's a guy that was a tackle. They moved him inside. Mike McCarthy has a history of doing that with tackles. We'll see, right? I mean, when you're comparing it to Zach Martin, of course it's going to look different. But they're rolling with this right now. We'll see what happens in the preseason. And that depth, that offensive line depth, I don't know if I see it. Who's the backup center? The question mark there. You got backup tackle. Okay, you got Chuma Adoga that they signed. Maybe he can play some guard too. But again, this is a team that will make its bones on his offensive line. Zach Martin needs to be here sooner rather than later. Is this the...
We all know it.
Yep.
I mean, he's basically saying everything that every Cowboys fan's feeling. Zach Martin needs to be in-house at ASAP.
Yeah,
ASAP, like yesterday.
Like
I would have
like 600K ago.
I would have liked to see some. Geez, this mic keeps bumping. Sorry, guys. My apologies. I would have liked to have seen some Awesome Richards or Asim Richards. Awesome Richards.
Awesome Richards.
Awesome Richards. Yeah.
Which, guys, this goes back to, and we're all huge fans of Scooney, and we're all huge fans of Mozzie Smith. We are. Scooney bought G's ball today. He did. He got that pen on that ball.
Oh, yeah.
But this goes back to, and now I can't even remember the guard's name, but the guard that we all loved sitting there at round 2. Why can't I think of the fucking guy's name?
Osiris Torrance.
Osiris Torrance. Thanks, Alex. Osiris Torrance was sitting there, right? And right now, and I'm not saying it would have prevented this holdout with Zach Martin, but now at least you have a guy that's touted highly.
Yeah, you were the most vocal about not having depth on the line.
Is it not showing?
It does show. I think that obviously had the Cowboys possibly knew that Zach Martin was maybe not happy with his current standing, they possibly would have done that. But I think the strategy in the offseason has been pretty solid for the Cowboys so far. This is probably the biggest hiccup right now.
Yeah, oh, definitely.
Out of all the stains of offseason, there wasn't much from the Cowboys. This is the one stain that's coming in play here.
Yeah, and we're going to switch gears here to some good news.
Yeah.
Our second-round pick, Luke Schoonmaker, finally at training camp, finally out there practicing. And he came over right to us today while we were here live on training camp.
And we don't need to credit anybody because this was my shot.
And no credits. This is posted on the CanFan Twitter.
Yes, we have a San Francisco fan there as well.
And we gave it to him.
And we gave it to him right up the pooper.
Love George, though. I do love George.
Yeah, nice guy. Took us to a great barbecue place after.
Yeah, it was great.
Barbecue place.
And then we rolled him.
We beat the shit. Scooney, nice guy. Kind of reminds me of Will Poirier, the actor, in a way.
And the guy's a monster. Like, Boots is 6'2", and you can't really tell by the angle, but Luke Schoonmaker was tall. He's a big guy. Yeah, so the only reason he came over is because Boots screamed at him, so that was pretty dope.
I was surprised at how many how there wasn't a lot of signings today.
No, well, because they were over on the vet side, the United States military side, giving away the signatures, which makes sense.
We also had I don't think we caught it on camera, but we saw CeeDee Lamb and Rojo kind of just loosening up on the side of the field with some ropes, whatever that weird ass rope exercise is.
Getting those.
We missed it. Or is this the shot? Maybe
no. So I was filming CeeDee Lamb and Rojo on the sideline just because they were basically just stretching out, and I was kind of like, oh shit, because I noticed on Saturday CeeDee Lamb wasn't really participating in the scrimmage, so I was kind of concerned that he might be hurt. So just after this, like I'd say about 5 minutes after Eric, boots on the ground, screamed, "Hey CD!" And CD actually like looked over like right at him and he yelled, "Are you good, man?" And CD just did the hang loose sign, like
yeah.
And then Eric felt bad, so he's like, "Oh, I didn't even ask Rojo if he's good." He's like, "Rojo, you good too, bro?" And he gave a thumbs up. So
okay,
it was pretty funny, and I do wish I got it on film because it was they locked eyes with Boots. It was pretty funny.
It's Boots' voice just carries.
It carries.
Yeah,
it just carries.
And he's so smooth when he asks people for something. You cannot say no to Boots.
Well, this is going to tie into the depth chart talk later on, but this is one of the hot topics of Cowboys for the last 3 or 4 months, Deuce Vaughn. So here's a couple reps of Deuce Vaughn that we caught. That's just stuffed.
Who got him there?
Everyone.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that was Fowler for the second one. So 56, Fowler Jr. on the bottom. I don't know if he made the initial contact, but he definitely made the secondary. Yeah. So it was D-Law and Fowler Jr. just untouched basically into there. This is what I mean. There's two guys always in the backfield.
Yeah. Now, that not all of that is because Zach Martin's not there. Of course, that's a big part of it, but the guys breaking in on the edge.
That's your tackles.
Yeah.
That's your tackles. Yeah, that's D-Law and Fowler. Like, can we go back and just watch Fowler? Like, is it Terrence Steele D'd up on him here? I need to see this. If you're just listening, you got to hop over to the YouTube.
Yeah.
Okay, so they just crashed down. So what they're trying to do is they're hoping that the running back gets to the line of scrimmage before the outside guys are even a factor.
Yeah.
Clearly, that did not work.
Fowler's fast, man.
Fowler's fast as hell,
get
man.
off here.
Wow. That is not a good play call.
Mike's like, shit. Oh, shit. Take Whataburger out of the playbook. Crack him if you got
him here in Oxnard.
Crack him if you got him. Whataburger left.
We got another longer play here, too. Actually, maybe this might be two of them, Ad.
Okay, is this Deuce Vaughn?
Oh, no, this is...
Shot of AJ because he's...
Jeez, look at those fucking dry-ass lips.
Again, though, I got to ask you guys, is that Deuce Vaughn's fault that he has no chance to even do anything? Like, that could happen to Zeke Elliott. That could happen to Tony Pollard. You have two guys in the backfield. That's not necessarily the running back's fault.
No. Again, I'm playing with it. I'm having some fun, you know. I'm playing the villain.
Your best line was this. I like it if tackles for losses for the other team is what we're trying to do here.
But it also works the other way.
It's good for the D.
It's good for the defense.
if we are playing against one of the top 3 defenses
Which
or
we hope
D
we are.
lines, let's say in the NFL, that's good. Like, of course, we're probably going to lose out to them 9 times out of 10, but that's good practice because, then technically things
talking
get
about
easier
practice?
for 27 other teams.
Yeah.
But regardless, there's a lot of factors in here that don't really give us a clear picture. Number one, it just being training camp, so there is contact, but it's not 100. These guys aren't necessarily going 100%. Some guys might be,
Yep.
but we're not seeing the line crash as ferociously as they, are going to in a game. On top of that, missing Zach Martin, and then also just not having all the right pieces in at the right time. Like if Deuce is getting a lot of second team work, well, maybe he's going to do a lot better with first team, right?
Right.
So I'm just showing you that I can look at things two-sided as well. Okay.
Well, we're gonna get into the depth chart, and you might not be wrong with your takes because the depth chart doesn't lie. And the depth chart right now is how the coaches feel. So
Was that our last clip
we'll
of the
jump
day?
into that. Coach DQ, here
Oh,
we
no, we
go.
had this one.
Lieutenant Dan, ice cream.
This was a funny a clip. Dan's Lieutenant he's got a soccer ball out there for some reason.
Okay, that's fucking hilarious. I saw the soccer ball rolling down, and I said to Boots, I was like, the hell have they got a soccer ball there for?
Well, they're doing a block pass drill for the D linemen and just kind of lining them up. And Lieutenant Dan ice cream.
Ice cream.
Ice cream. No, that's Lieutenant Dan.
He's just throwing.
whipping a football.
Yeah, he's just whip it like as if it's a football, right?
Yeah.
I think it's because it's round. You're not gonna have any.
You're not gonna have
problem
injuries.
with the finger getting bent
You're not
or
going to have
something.
injuries.
Yeah,
That's definitely it. And it acts the same. Your
Acts the same.
reaction
it's just,
time.
It's just funny because we even tweeted this that it's Lieutenant Dan channeling his inner Ted Lasso.
yeah. Tomorrow he's going to be out there with a tennis racket and tennis balls, just hitting them at them. He's going to get every sport.
Then we just
There
got
we go, Scooney.
a shot of Scoon going back to what I like to call the stable, where they go and smash into these little machines.
I mean, we got a lot of good. I think between you and we got a lot of good clips. We'll just do like a string out and put that out tomorrow.
But look, otherwise, it was a fairly quiet day. They didn't do a lot of 7-on-7 or
They didn't
11.
I don't even think they really did one-on-ones.
No, they didn't.
Crack them if you got them.
Crack them if you got them. But what was interesting, what I like at these, just to throw my perspective out, is I'm looking around. Yeah, I'm looking around at just watching the individual drills, and I wish I kind of knew. I usually figure out what the drill is and what to look for by the end of it. But next year or whenever we return to a training camp, I'll be more prepared to actually have a better view and then opinion on what I'm seeing.
Well, next year too, our sponsor from our beer company is going to pay for for us to actually get the 250 pass, the VIP passes.
Well, I did want to say this one thing just on that note, because I did notice I was watching the D line where they do the drill. They kind of bust 2 moves around the player and then swipe at the ball, get around and kind of act as if they're
great drill, by the way. I liked watching that one.
Gallimore is extremely fast.
Dude, I noticed
very
that.
fast.
So Boots
noticeably fast.
I filmed that one from down low.
Yeah.
And we were watching and we're like, let's see who we notice, who seems like they're going hard and who seems like they're mailing it in a little bit. And we both said the same thing. We're like, holy shit, Gallimore's he's flying. He looked fast. He looked powerful. D-Law always leading out. D-Law looked like an absolute beast. There was one thing we noticed, and the big boys, Jonathan Hankins and Bohanna, I'm not calling no one out, but it looked like they were going a little bit slower. Of course, they're big, but when you can kind of tell someone's not
Sandbagging a little bit? Is that kind of what you're saying?
Yeah, it just didn't seem like they were going to their full speed.
Yeah.
And then today at the end of practice, when we were down at the sideline waiting to get autographs there, they had Bohanna and Hankins, the only 2 guys running sprints.
Yeah.
So I don't know with the D-line. So is that a thing? I don't know.
If Gallimore is feeling like he's going to be losing out a spot on the team, you're going to be going in that extra gear to try and make the team, right?
He's got a fire in his belly.
Yeah.
And it ain't Curry.
Sometimes you want that guy who has got a little bit of fire in his belly over someone who might be a little bit more skilled, but are they going to have that heart to push through the pain when it comes to it?
After watching practice, I still think Gallimore might be ahead of Bohanna. I think he might be ahead of Bohanna. and it's going to be tough to see. There's so many spots, and this is the first year that I can remember in a while that there's so many tightly contested spots where there's such a small gap between your backup and the guy that gets cut. But you just have to make that choice, right?
Well, speaking of who's ahead of who, we got the unofficial depth chart. Now, this is on a few places. This is John Machado. Can't say it right, but you know who I'm talking about.
Speaking of pronunciation, when I looked at this depth chart, the best thing about the depth chart, look at the very bottom of it. Pronunciation guide. So they literally give a pronunciation guide. Yeah,
Okay.
I was reading through this.
Awesome.
I was reading through this while I was taking a dump, and I started laughing when I saw the pronunciation guide.
No diggy, no doubt, oh diggazua. But yes, also I'm looking at the bloggingtheboys.com article, so you can find this everywhere. But those are two good sources if you want to check this out for yourself and kind of go through with a fine-tooth comb. We're going to do our best here, though. Let me just roll through starting offensive lineup, okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
So for wide receivers, of course, we got CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, and Michael Gallup, 1, 2, 3.
Can you zoom that in a bit more, AJ?
It might not be because it's a Twitter post. But while you guys are figuring that out, there's no surprise with that. There's no surprise with the starting three.
No surprise.
We've known that since Brandon Cooks got traded to the team, that those are your three.
Pretty much all the starters. The only surprise, well, not surprise, I should say, but the only one that maybe is not we would like to see switch up here would be the tight ends with Jake Ferguson and Peyton Hendershot. I'm not saying that I don't think that those guys don't deserve that spot, but you want to see your number 2 pick, Luke Shoemaker, become number 1A or 1B.
Which I would be very surprised. I'd be very surprised by the end of preseason if he's not snuggled his way in there somehow.
Exactly. First practice today or training camp day, so of course that's where he's going to be slotted in. But good to see him on the field. Otherwise, we don't need to go through our starting five. It's 4 T's and a Z on the line, and then of course Dak Rain Dakota.
There he is.
RDP and TV20.
So I'd say the biggest surprise here for us, I like to this running back hierarchy. This running back hierarchy is something that we've all talked about, and it's interesting. Everyone's talked about the running backs a lot. There it is, 6:30.
There it is, baby.
And everyone's talked about it quite a bit, especially with everyone expecting Deuce Vaughn to be the savior. But the fact of the matter is these coaches right now, their running back depth chart is Tony Pollard as your 1, Rico Dowdle, number 23, as your number 2, Malik Davis, number 34, as your running back 3, Rojo, your 4, and then over to the right of the screen, we have Deuce Vaughn, who's sitting over at 5. Deuce Vaughn and then Hunter Lepke. So what are you guys' thoughts on that? Is that a little bit surprising? Not only the Deuce Vaughn, but the fact, the way that Dowdle, Davis, and Jones kind of shake up? Is that it's kind of how I felt by watching? Like the eye test tells you that Dowdle's is the RB2.
I like Davis more, but I don't dislike Dowdle. We just saw Davis play, and so I have a little bit more faith in what he can do. But Davis at 3, okay, and you're right. We saw a lot out of Rico Suave. He was getting the ball a lot.
And he looks strong.
Making plays, making runs. Again, it's always hard because the same thing, in fairness to the clips that we watched with Deuce Vaughn, most of the running backs are getting arms on them before they even get to the line of scrimmage. Some guys look stronger and break through faster, but I would just consider those are more than likely going to be tackles or you're getting tackled shortly after.
You get to the line of scrimmage.
Yeah.
And you're not breaking anything more than...
Probably not.
It's at worst a tackle for loss, at best a 0 gain.
Yeah, exactly. So, but yeah, I think that has lined up with what we've seen. TP20 does get the ball a lot, but they're not playing him. They're not really... They don't need to see him out on the field,
no,
right?
They don't. They know what to expect from Pollard. What actually another one that kind of surprises me, if you look at the top with wide receivers here, you got CeeDee Lamb and then Simi Fioco, which I think Jalen Brooks is on his tail, man. Simi might be the odd man out. He had a big drop. Today. Dak hit him bang on. Actually, could we find that one on Twitter? That's actually one of the clips that. Sorry, AJ, just totally switch gears on you here.
I love it when you throw.
I know, but
throw
it
a
is
fucking wrench in this guy. Throw a fucking wrench in this guy.
But it is it is important, and it doesn't even have to be right now. We can go through the depth chart and get back to it. But the
we can go and look at. I don't know where that clip is specifically. I don't have that pulled up right now. So
we'll go to it after. But Simi Fioco had a one-on-one matchup. Dak Prescott hit him right in the hands on a go route. Would have been a nice chunk yard gains. Literally right in his pants. Couldn't have been. One of the top comments was, "Well, the problem was it hit him in both hands."
Yeah.
I
So
mean,
that's
we
surprising.
probably even have it on our 45 minute minute.
No, it was behind that big stupid tower. And then you have Kevontae Turpin and Jalen Tolbert slotted behind the other guys. So if you went with 6 wide receivers right now, they're saying CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, Michael Gallup, Simi Fioco, Kevontae Turpin, and Jalen Tolbert. Interesting. I think Jalen Brooks is hot on it, though. Crack him if you got him.
If you got
Any
him.
other big surprises you guys see here? One of the
with the fuck.
Well, just pour and then talk. You know,
With the wide receivers,
Yep.
I do think this is good to see. Turpin and Tolbert moving in. I think healthily number 4 and 5.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And yeah, Jalen Brooks is. I do want to see him over Simi Fioco. I think after this point, if Simi's not, you got to move on from him if he's not going to actually make the squad this year.
Well, especially when you're dropping like gimmies today.
Yeah.
Like it's just not. It wasn't good. And he's been a fan favorite, and everyone's been rooting for him because he was also a late round draft pick. But Jalen Brooks has been showing up when he's got his opportunities. He hasn't been dropping passes. A guy that has actually surprised me since we've watched is John Stevens.
Yes.
49. I don't think he makes the team, but I definitely think he makes an NFL roster. The only reason he's not making this team is because we're loaded at tight end. But he's going to they'll try to put him on the practice squad, and I think someone snipes him.
Yeah.
The other thought is, and kind of what we were talking about earlier is, and you're giving me some ribs because Hunter Lepke just hasn't really been having a great camp, and the idea that you could still possibly run that fullback kind of position with one of these tight ends.
McKeon.
You get McKeon in that fullback position, and or even John Stevens in that fullback style position, and then you can cycle through into the tight end. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of work that.
Well, that's why the fullback position in the NFL's kind of died off, right? Because there's other guys that could do more sometimes.
You could either bring in a guard to play him when you know you're going to block, or bring in a tight end when he's going to need to run or catch a ball.
Or
exactly.
a power running back. Yeah, a power running back who could also fills that void of that fullback position, which is what we've seen in recent years.
Yeah.
Okay, on to the bangers, on to the defense.
So rolling through just our line here, we got D-Law, Hankins, 00, and Dorrance Armstrong up front. Any surprises there?
Yeah, Mozzie not cracking the starting, which isn't surprising. I feel like with Jonathan Hankins, you're going to try to get him to coach Mozzie up a little bit, get him kind of, and I think Hankins knows the writing's on the wall that this is his last year with the Cowboys, and they're going to try to get Mozzie to take his spot. But with what we were talking about, Neville Gallimore, he's right now slotted as your 4th best defensive tackle ahead of Chauncey Golston, Quinton Bohanna, and Isaac Alacron, which watching him go through drills today, I think that's the proper order.
Yeah, and starting with linebackers here, funny enough, of course, Micah Parsons.
Yep.
LVE, and there's only 2.
Yeah, so and they have and that's it.
And that's it.
They have Damone Clark behind Micah,
Yeah.
and this is where it gets a little bit hazy because that's not how it's going to be. Micah's going to be where Dorrance is, right?
Yeah.
Micah's going to be in Dorrance's spot. Damone Clark's going to be in Micah's spot. Realistically, when they're out there playing, Micah's going to be the defensive end, and Damone Clark's going to be lining up beside Leighton Van Der Esch.
Yeah. So why do you think that? What is the reason for them to have it listed that way then?
Fuck, I have no idea. I don't know if it's down to the fact that they have so much depth at defensive end that by just putting Micah at linebacker, it kind of benefits them with one other rusher. But I'm not too sure, and maybe they eventually want Micah to do more, but we've seen him on the line. He's got to be on the line. He has to be rushing the quarterback with D-Law. It's just those guys together with one of these big bodies in the middle Just let them go. Let them bang, bro.
Yeah, rounding that out, we got Javi Cox behind LVE, and then third in line behind Parsons and Clark is
Fan favorite.
DeMarvion Overshawn, who had that really nice outing last
on Saturday.
I mean,
Couple
Overshown
picks.
has had a couple really good camp days so far.
He's fast as fuck, boy. He's fast as fuck. Like
Those are our linebackers.
That's
though,
our
probably.
linebackers. I'm pretty sure our linebacker, the guys that are going to make it, Malik Jefferson probably not going to be there. The surprising one's Devin Harper, actually, number 50 behind Malik Jefferson. Jefferson might make it, and then Tyrus Wheat and Devin Harper might be on the outside looking in, and then that would be surprising. Harper gone.
Yeah, well, I like Jefferson because I kept looking at him, thinking it was JJ.
Interesting here with cornerback guys.
Yep.
Eric Scott backing up Stephon Gilmore.
Wow. Well, okay, so
and
in
Eric's
fairness, they do roll out 2 CBs and an MB, and usually it's just 2 CBs and 2 safeties.
But that's
right?
what I'm saying, you guys. When you guys were talking about like if Diggs was hurt, someone was like, "Well, DeRon Bland would go play there." No, he won't though.
Yep.
Right? DeRon Bland's going to stay as the nickelback, and right now instead of Nashawn Wright going, Nashawn Wright's Trevon Diggs' direct backup. If Gilmore goes down, Eric Scott's going to come in, not DeRon Bland or Kelvin Joseph. A nickelback is you can almost look at it as a different. It's a different position as CB.
You start. Go ahead.
No, just the nickelback is replacing the third linebacker on that depth.
Yes,
because
yes,
you would technically.
definitely.
So that's
you're right.
That's
You're
where
right on
that's
that.
being taken from.
Yep, you're right there. Definitely.
But
Yep.
they still do 3 safeties, which I think is interesting too, because. But yeah, I guess that it doesn't matter. The NB is being taken by or taking the spot of the linebacker. So yeah.
So you have
Cool.
you have 12. They have 12 positions said there, like the 3 safeties, the 2 cornerbacks, the nickelback, 2 linebackers, and then
Yeah,
the 4.
right.
There is one spot that you're going to kind of shift out, whether it be you have so when you're in a running down, instead of having DeRon Bland on the field, you're going to have a guy like you're going to bring in an extra safety. That's what's going to probably happen. You'll have a safety instead. If you think there's a chance they're going to run, you're going to run your 3 safeties. And then the rest of the guys, J-Ron will come up and act as that kind of third linebacker in that run situation.
Yeah.
And then on a for sure passing down, maybe J-Ron is out of there, or Donovan Wilson's out of there, and now you have DeRon Bland matching up on one of the wide receivers that's out in the flat or something.
So to round out the safeties, we've got Wilson, Curse, and Hooker. No surprises there. Backing them up is Israel Mukuamu, Marquise Bell, Wanye Thomas. And then someone who I thought stood out to me in these first 2 days that we've been here at the actual training camp is Tyler Coyle, number 31. He had that big pop. And then I was also, because that kept me watching him. So today I was watching him when they were training, and he got in some extra reps trying to catch the ball on a individual position drill. Like, he's playing like you said, and it matches with what I'm seeing his other actions are. Like, he's playing to get a spot on this team.
To make the team.
Yeah.
He's not trying to make friends with anyone.
No.
If he gets a chance to pop you, he's going to pop you.
I have been a little disappointed that we haven't been able to see Dono Wilson.
He was out there working,
practice.
though.
We see him out there kind of doing the recovery, but yeah,
He was out there working today.
Dono Dub was someone that I think we were all pretty pumped to see live in person.
Let's just roll through quickly here the backups. We already talked about Mousy Smith and Gallimore being the number 2s for those 2 defensive tackle spots. Sam Williams and Dante Fowler are the backups.
Both can get at the quarterback. Man, these defensive ends are looking scary, man.
Yeah.
We got any of those guys, if they're in there, say you're absolutely hammering the offensive tackles, and you get Sam Williams, Dante Fowler, Dorrance Armstrong in there to like spell Micah or spell D-Law, there's not that much fall off.
No.
There isn't that much fall off. They're still going to bring the heat, and I'm excited to see us just be able to fucking blitzkrieg offenses, basically.
And then linebackers, Damone Clark, Jabril Cox, we talked about them. Cornerbacks, Eric Scott, which is nice to see him right up there behind Stephon Gilmore and Nashawn Wright, who's been doing a lot of work.
Who's tall as fuck in person.
Yeah, absolutely.
The guy he's so tall, man.
Seems like a nice guy, too.
Seems like he signed a bunch of bunch of fans.
Signed a bunch of fan stuff, and then like when the music's playing, you see they get a little turned up. I like seeing Mukuamu today was fucking dancing. It was nice.
Jiving.
Yeah, I like it. I like seeing people have fun.
What were you guys' thoughts with the music playing today?
Oh, I love it.
I liked
like
it
it.
way better.
Oh yeah.
I knew Big Mike was telling it to shut it down a couple times.
I was just
Shut
like
the music
this.
down.
I was just doing this one on the sideline, listening to it. My thought process on the Saturday, I don't think they did it because they actually filmed the white and blue scrimmage.
Yeah.
And they posted it on Dallas Cowboys YouTube.
Yeah, they
so I
didn't
think
wanna
that's
get
why
flagged.
they didn't did the music. But today it was the music was bumping.
Well, that's like a technique. I mean, that cops will do when people start filming them. They'll play music so that the videos get flagged and taken down.
Really?
Yep.
Interesting. That's genius.
I don't know if it's just cops. I've just seen cops start.
I'm gonna start doing that if anyone starts filming me. I'm gonna play a Drake song.
Yeah.
No, but it's the video get flagged.
All right, that's why I'm gonna do it. Down to the specialist, the kicker, the only kicker now, Brandon Aubrey, punter, obviously our guy Brian Anger, long snapper Trent Sieg, holder Brian Anger, and then look at this, kick returner and punt returner, our guy Cavante Turpin.
Yeah.
Not surprising.
KVT.
That's our guy. He's gonna be there.
KVT9.
It's crazy how Malik is out there as the other as the number 2 for the kick returner. So does that mean Deuce Vaughn would be backing up either one of them if they can't make it in? Yeah.
Yeah, because Cavante Turpin and Malik Davis will both be out there on when they're kicking off, but Malik Davis will be ahead of Cavante Turpin.
But so I wonder why they wouldn't have Deuce Vaughn and Cavante Turpin back there.
Because Malik Davis is blocking. Did you not watch Deuce Vaughn block today?
Right. Yes.
Yeah, and I will
Yes, I
say,
did.
like, honestly, Deuce was dropping some punts, but I didn't see him drop any today. There wasn't a lot. There wasn't as many as yesterday, but he was catching. They did do a little bit of a kind of punt exercise right in the beginning of practice. Deuce was catching the ball. So, that he needs to be able to add a punt return or kick return ability. He needs
Caught your headphone.
Yeah, he needs to be able to add a punt return or kick return ability, or else, his stock is down.
He needs to. He's on the ropes right now. He's Nate Diaz versus Jake Paul in the first round right now. He's on the ropes.
No, Nashawn Wright's more. I feel like Nashawn Wright's the height of Nate Diaz. You're
Yeah.
just talking about you. I know. I'm saying physically.
Well, if I'm saying physically, I'm definitely not picking Deuce Vaughn to beat
exact opposite.
Nate Diaz. I'm just using it as a metaphor that they're both on the ropes.
On the rope.
On the ropes, bro.
Which is crazy that a lot of and it's probably clickbait.
Those two are those happy dads are hitting you, aren't they? Happy
No,
dad.
we're on Ashland's. The fact is, like, a lot of the clips you're seeing, even coming from today, is like Deuce Vaughn's really showing up at camp, and then we watched that clip, and it was like it showed 4 or 5 people that weren't Deuce Vaughn. I don't even think Deuce Vaughn had one kind of
Clickbait.
running in a 2-minute clip. So
There's definitely clickbait. So AJ, you're on right. It was John Machota. If you're looking for that Simi Fioco one, it was scrolled down. Just scroll down on his feed. It was there. That's the only guy I usually go to. John Machota. If you don't follow him on, if you don't follow John Machota on
X.
on X, then that's a good one. What do you? I gotta ask you guys. What do you guys think about hitting like this at practice?
Yeah, well, if you're going to run just a dumb route, sometimes you're going to get fucking lit up.
But that wasn't
And
crank. That was just an arm in the way.
You got to do it. You got.
Oh, yeah, that's how I think you should hit. But honestly, you got to get ready because...
And it almost looked like 36 wasn't even actually going for a big hit. It almost looked like he was going for the ball, and it just kind of ended up interjecting with the other dude's body, right? Like, it didn't really look like that could have been a lot worse. That could have been that could have been a kill shot. And Cooper Rush, what the fuck are you doing throwing that? You're trying to kill your dude? Like, you're throwing it right into cover 2. He threw that into cover 2 so bad that he's just about to kill his man.
Yeah.
Oh, I see you guys in the stands back there.
Well, I will say this, though. I mean, the Greer and Coop were a little bit more accurate than Dak today in some of the QB drills that we got to watch. I got some clips from it. We'll post it after.
Nice clips of them doing that rollout pass drill.
Don't you ever say that about my QB1 ever again.
I'm just saying.
Don't you ever say that against my QB1 ever again. So, yeah, another hit by you had Malik Hooker manning up with Jalen Brooks.
This is Dak tossing the pigskin.
Dak's tossing it. It's another. You watch him when I was watching the quarterbacks throw it. all I could think of is how we look when we were throwing the ball yesterday opposed to how they look when they're throwing the ball.
Oh, yeah.
I'm like putting my whole goddamn body in it to throw 20 yards, and they just, with a flick of a wrist, absolute precision bullet. It's hard to see what even happened there, but it looked like a pass breakup.
Yeah, Hooker got the best of Dak on that one, and Brooks. Dak got him to jump. Oh, we did see this on the sideline. They got the defense to jump.
And then they called it. They should have called it and given them a free play.
It was Micah.
Ooh, Micah.
Dak got Micah to jump. Got to get the goat every once in a while. The linebacker isn't always going to win.
Hey, sometimes that's how you're going to fucking move the ball, okay?
Exactly.
That was just a little fun.
If for every one of those Micah gets, there's the Dak going deep to Simi Fioco.
Okay, let's just look at this next one here. This is Micah Parsons closing in. So he gets him back.
Malik Davis. I mean, is that a sack on this one?
No, he got it away, but, it might have been a sack by Osa.
Closing in.
Yeah.
75. That's got to be Josh Ball. Watch this dumb fuck. He looks lost. You're trying to get Josh Ball to come over and block Micah Parsons. One more time, please. Oh my God, that looks like us if we were playing football if we were 7 or 6'8".
Yeah.
Look at this.
Come here, you little bastard.
Jeez,
It looks like a bad guy in a cartoon chasing a cat or something.
Did he just get sacked? Is he down?
Is he down? Don't ever call that play with Josh Ball in ever again. So this is the Simi Fioco drop. Dak drops back, airs it out. Beautiful throw and just
right in his fucking hands too.
That's got to be caught, guys.
Yeah.
See LVE on the edge here. LVE with a nice blitz in. Beauty ball. That's against Gilmore too, guys.
If you slow it down, you can see it hit off of his head too. Watch
beauty
it.
throw.
Hands to the head and then out. Hands, head. Oh, okay, maybe not.
I think it was hands, chest out.
I think it goes. He didn't even.
Either way, that's got to be caught.
It goes right through his hands.
It's got to be caught. No
But yeah,
excuse.
either way.
And you got Gilly beat there too.
They got the coverage.
Yeah, LVE rushing in.
Man. Come on, Fioco. That's the
One last look here.
Those are the opportunities you just have to seize. You're fighting. You got these young guys balling out in camp, and that happens to you. You gotta.
It would have been huge.
You have to get that.
Build confidence with your quarterback, and then as well as beating the number one CB on the team.
You just
He
have to
had
have
him.
that.
He had him beat. He
Had
had
him
the
beat.
pass. Even had his hands on the ball, just didn't fucking stick it.
Well, this is why Fioco's sticking around, because he has every attribute that you need
Except for
at figuring it out.
He's like
putting it together.
Just can't figure it out.
He's like the kid in Little Giants who just can't catch, and he has to put that sticky stuff on his hands.
Well, it's not even not being able to catch. It's just like a combo of things. I guess the very first drive in camp, he had to go off his hands and get intercepted, and the clip blew up. Talking about Dak Prescott taking off exactly how he ended the season. But it's like, man, you volleyed the fucking ball up to the defense.
I know. I can't stand the volley from a receiver or a tight end into someone else's hands. It's not the quarterback's fault.
So this is just a slant. I don't even know if we need to watch this one, really. It's just your classic slant.
Classic slant.
Damone Clark
We'll hit it
matched
once.
out.
Oh, that was against
Gilly
too. You like to see it. Oh,
We didn't get to see Donald much today.
So Dottle, he looks strong. He just looks strong running the football.
You can see Alex and I up in the stands.
Just looks strong. You know what I mean by that? Like, he just looks like a strong running back, and I'm excited to see him in training or in preseason this
Definitely
week.
has some wheels to him too.
Guys, we get some Cowboys football this Saturday. How stoked are we? We're jacked up.
Oh, sorry. I am stoked, but this is something I wanted to see because our boy EJ replied to this clip and was like, "What are you doing with get Smith out here running in the open field?" But he basically it's Deuce running a little run out to the sidelines, and you see Smith come out here and
Lead block.
So I don't know. Tell me what you think about it.
That's a good run.
It's a good run, but
Probably was
EJ was
tackled.
like, "Hey, let's not get him injured."
You're right. Looks like the Bionic Man with all his
I know with all of his freaking arms.
or when Ad and I were like 12 and 15 making Madden players. Just every arm. I guess AJ was with us too. Every pad that you could put, Ads guy looked like a fucking couch cushion with all the every pad that you could put on the arm.
And a roll bar.
Or he sounds like he's some fucking Tin Man running.
Grease up his joints. Grease up his joints.
Well, I mean, we could keep looking at more clips, but that's kind of the bottom line, baby.
Today, man, practice. I'm really excited. Practice. We talking practice.
Practice.
I'm really excited about this defense. It's a little, what's the word? It's a little concerning that the offense isn't doing much. But as Alex said at the very start of the cast, if this is a top 3 defense that we have here, and that's the reason that they're killing the offense, and if we're only allowing teams to score under 20 points a game, and then the offense is just, middle of the pack, I'm okay with that. I'm completely okay with that.
That's a game-winning combo.
It's a game-winning combo. Just right now, you're like, holy fuck, like, is the offense really bad or is the defense really good? And we still don't know that yet.
Yeah. I mean, we're assuming we know what we've seen in the past, so we know the defense is good.
They're good. They're at least top 10 defense. Yeah. Like that, I would say that's their floor. The floor is top 10.
Still a lot of questions, though. There are a lot of questions.
I don't know. Seeing Dan Quinn out there with that soccer ball, he's running a top 5D.
DQ's the GOAT. So tomorrow,
where's my ball? Where's my soccer ball?
Give me my goddamn soccer ball. So tomorrow we will be back live in Oxnard at the field, live streaming at about 12:15, 12:10.
We might. I mean, look,
Pacific Standard Time.
Here's the thing, because of how smooth it finally went today, we could go live as soon as we want.
That's true. We could do that. So just be on the lookout if you're looking to watch the Cowboys live training camp. We will be going live tomorrow in Oxnard. As far as next week, we will be live streaming the Jaguars game, the Cowboys versus Jaguars game, preseason week 1. Football's back. We're excited.
Football's back.
We'll see you guys tomorrow on the live stream. For the bandwagon boys sitting over there, their glass table with their beautiful, what do they call them, tumblers? Crushed them with their tumblers. And me, Anthbest, we out, baby. Yeah. We out.